Bizarre Brain Comics. Hi. Hey there. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. But this time, this will be a little shorter one, because this is something that I only occasionally do, is do some reviews of some new current comics. And this time, these are books, a couple of books that have continuing storylines, and I've been following for the last few issues, and want to share them with you. Here, of course, is The Incredible Hulk, number 18, an ongoing storyline. There's some interesting horror aspects to it, and this is Josie and the Pussycats annual spectacular, with a continuing storyline that had gone from started in Sabrina the Teenage Witch annual spectacular, went on into the Archie Halloween spectacular, which both of those I reviewed previously, as well as the previous issues of the Hulk, and then this storyline concludes. It's actually three individual related stories. The Mother Striga saga, and it concludes here in Josie and the Pussycats. So, let's go take a look inside for a fun little review, shall we? Yeah, okay, here we are. And here we are, so we can look look at these books. With The Incredible Hulk. Turn that down just a little bit. With The Incredible Hulk number 18. Now, I've been really enjoying this particular iteration of The Incredible Hulk, even though I haven't got all the issues. I've probably, out of 18, I probably got between 10 and 12. I don't know. I don't remember. And I've been enjoying it. They put Hulk where he actually belongs, instead of with the superheroes. It's more in a horror aspect of him. And on this run, he's picked up a kind of a new sidekick in this teenage girl called Charlie. And unfortunately, in a period that I missed, she was I guess she was killed and became a figurine, a small figurine, clay figurine, and the Hulk, Bruce Banner, have been traveling to find a way to restore her. Stopped in New Orleans, and has been traveling to Las Vegas. And the last couple issues, he got to Las Vegas, and because he has to find the Elder, who has been after him anyway, but trying to arrange something now. The Bruce Banner made an arrangement with the Elder to sacrifice the Hulk to restore Charlie. And the Hulk, after some weird stuff going on, is now a prisoner, held bound in mystical chains in a cavern under the city of Las Vegas. And Charlie has been restored, but she is a prisoner also. And this is so that's Incredible Hulk number 18, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, with art by Nick Klein and Danny Earls. And this is City of Idols, Part 2. And we'll just take a look. I don't want to go I don't want to spoil too much. And this looks like a kind of a dream sequence in Charlie. She's been trying to escape, I guess. Here she suddenly wakes up and she's in what seems to be like a normal room, except it's not. She is trapped here, and these ghoulies keep appearing. They are the minions of the Elder, and they are kind of creepy looking. And meanwhile, here is the Hulk bound in the mystical change, and this is the Elder, or at least the current iteration. Previously, there had been other Hulks before had gone up against the Elder from the Epic of Gilgamesh. It was Enkidu, and the Elder is trying to free his/her mother, which has been trapped, and they need the power and energy of the Hulk, some aspect of the Hulk, to do it. But there's he's being kind of mystically protected somehow, and zaps some of the minions. Whoop. And you see here the Elder. She just looks like a regular, ordinary person, but here her arm changes into this clawed talon, and you can even see here the clawed talons that she's gotten. And I say she just because the body is currently in this iteration, while Charlie is trying to find a way out and guarded by this horrid-looking thing out here. And but Hulk is being tormented here with by Bruce Banner. Says, Eldest claims they were forged from the first firmament itself. Your turn in the torture chamber, eh? And that is Bruce Banner's face, and it just really ticks the Hulk off. Some nice and very gruesome artwork here. Kind of the peeling of the skin and stuff. Ooh, several times over. In this one young lady who is one of the minions seems to actually want to try to help the Hulk if he can help her, because she doesn't want to be a minion here, and she's this weird stuff. She's morphing, mutating, and pulling this gross stuff. Then she goes into hiding because the eldest is back, and not transforming, but trying to pull the Bruce Banner out of himself, and part of the mystical change break, but he's still imprisoned, and Charlie is being used against him now that she is alive again. But Charlie's trying to escape, and with someone else who's trying to help her, and then she's harassed and chased by these other minions who are morphing into werewolves and chase her through the caverns. And I'm not going to tell you too much because it's still continued, but it's very interesting and grim and gruesome, and I'm enjoying this stuff. But still, it's not very much storyline per issue. There's a lot of this stuff could, like I've said many times before, this is probably maybe half an issue's actual story. Of course, the issues aren't quite as long as they used to be either, but they getting more into the longer storytelling, which I don't entirely like, because all of the stories are connected, even though they have this is part 2 of I don't know how many parts, but it's part of a continuing storyline. Okay, and then we go to Josie and the Pussycats Annual Spectacular. It's great, very cute, lovely cover by Stephen and Lily Butler. Okay, this is Josie and the Pussycats Annual Spectacular. It's came out on November 7th, and for Halloween I had reviewed those 2 previous issues, the Sabrina Spectacular and the Archie Halloween Spectacular, because they had this continuing storyline, as I said, with the Mother Striga. So it involves Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and of of course, she has run through all three of these stories because she is the one engaged in battle against this Mother Strega, and all three of these stories have been written by Ian Flynn, and this one is called Encore No More, with art by Stephen and Lily Butler. They've been the ones doing the artwork on all three of these stories, and then of course it is backed up with a couple of reprint Josie and the Pussycats stories, completely separate from this storyline, and it's some very nice. Now Stephen Butler, I've talked about him so many times, and it's lovely artwork. It has, since it involves Josie and the Pussycats, it also involves Sebastian and Alexandra. Now remember, Alexandra, they haven't always used the aspect, but Alexandra has a magical history herself, including her ancestor, and we find out something here about that. But it is kind of surprising to see Sabrina here flying on a broom, talking on her cell phone with Alexandra, because Sabrina, it's not Sabrina, Josie and the Pussycats have been commissioned in Igor Manors. It's a subdivision of a creepy subdivision of what is it? Igor Estates. That's it. And this is Mother Strega right here. She's really kind of creepy looking. She was the unholy trinity, what they call them, villains of Sabrina's, and they rose her from her limbo existence, and now she's kind of taken over. And Sabrina, Josie and the Pussycats have been commissioned to play this gig, and they are playing, but they are enchanted by or ensorcelled by Mother Strega. So they're playing the song, this tunes. They can't stop and they can't help themselves, and it is adversely affecting and bewitching all the groovy ghoulies, you might say, of Igor Estates. And Sabrina rushes in. One thing that's kind of surprising here is, okay, Sabrina is wearing what we used to call hot pants, and kind of these sexy boots, and her snug striped shirt is kind of witchy looking, and the fishnet stockings. And this is one of the sexiest ways I've seen this version of Sabrina look in the comics. And I won't tell you how it is resolved, but Sabrina and Alexandra have to join forces, and Sabrina's cat Salem and Alexandra's cat Sebastian, and we find out a little something about Sebastian the cat in this too. They have to also help, and has all the ghoulies and stuff here, and of course they always have to have something like this, have a creature from the Black Lagoon, or a version of that Gill Man, because I know from Stephen Butler is a big fan of that critter from classic monster. Then it's backed up with another kind of creepy story, is the Falcon's Claws, from very lovely work art by Dan DeCarlo, with inks by Jim DeCarlo. And one thing I do like here, although it's kind of off, the colors are a little bit off a little bit, is that they are using the original coloring from the original printing of the books, from when it was originally printed in the early 70s, probably about 71, I would think. And so we see that four-color Ben-Day dot patterns that we used to see back then. All the thing is that the colors have come off, like the skin tones. Valerie is too gray instead of brown, and the Caucasian characters are a little darker than usual, but otherwise I like that. And then that's followed up with a more reprint from a more recent version, probably from the 90s or early 2000s. This was written and drawn by Holly G. This is Ice Princess of the Lost Civilization. This is I think it's a two-part story, a longer storyline. And its melody is thought to be an ice. They've accidentally discovered some lost ice civilization, somewhere in the Arctic, and and they think Melody is their queen, and it's a lot of fun. And I really enjoy both of these books. And I have to tell you, I was engaged in other things, and I completely spaced that I was planning on buying this book until I listened to the Archie and Me podcast, and they did a review and said, "Oh, that's right, I wanted to get that." So I rushed over to the comic shop and picked both of these up because I had forgotten I also wanted to follow up with this one. So that worked out just fine. So that is all I've got to share with you this time. My reviews that I really enjoyed both of these books, and they get a good review of both of them, and completely different kinds of stuff, but they both get a good review from me. And so I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. Do leave your comments down below. Go pick up your copies if you haven't already. If you have read these, let me know what you thought of them. And remember, comics are art.